Well, after the scandal-ridden organization ACORN lost its government contracts and was forced to file for bankruptcy, it kind of vanished off of the radar of most of us anyway. But an organization with thousands of workers and tens of millions in contracts wasn't just about to disappear. So where is ACORN now, and what has it morphed into? Matthew Vadum is an adjunct scholar at the James Madison Institute and author of Subversion, How Obama's ACORN red shirts are still terrorizing and ripping off American taxpayers. He's been looking into all this, and he joins us now. Matthew, thanks for coming in. So what's happened in the organization?
Well, thanks very much. I'm actually, my day job is senior editor at Capitol Research Center here in D.C.
Okay.
We've been tracking ACORN since 1998. What is happening with ACORN right now is it is gradually resurfacing. It is broken off into many different groups at the state level. The ACORN state chapters have separately incorporated themselves under new names that don't contain the word ACORN. For example, in New York, they're New York Communities for Change. And the former chief organizer of National ACORN, Bertha Lewis, just started a brand new group called the Black Institute, which has an agenda almost identical to ACORN's.
Now, are any of these new organizations, well, I shouldn't say new organization, new name groups, are they getting any federal money at all?
The evidence of getting federal grants doesn't begin to show up for a while. So if they're getting money, it's not going to show up in any databases probably till next year. So we'll find out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're seeking government money because that's the way they do business.
Do they get it directly from the federal government, or do they try to lure state governments into it, or even local governments?
State and local. In New York, ACORN used to get money from the New York City Council. It used to get money from the New York State Legislature in Albany. So if you have money and you want to give it to them, they'll take it. Yeah,
I'm sure. Now, I heard something about at least one of these new organizations, in quotes, that was registered under as a foreign corporation. What's that about?
ACORN has an international branch called ACORN International, run by Wade Rathke, the founder of ACORN. That's the fellow whose little brother stole $1 million from ACORN, and he covered it up for 8 years and was subsequently fired because that was too corrupt even by ACORN standards. So ACORN International spreads the gospel of radical socialism worldwide. It's operating in India, and it's operating in Kenya, Canada, Peru, Mexico, and a whole bunch of other countries. In fact, in India, ACORN got President Obama's ambassador, Timothy Romer, to drop by ACORN's operations in Mumbai, India.
Incredible. By the way, there was another fellow of President Obama, Patrick Gaspard. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He was a White House political director. He is somehow back in the ACORN universe, is he not?
Well, absolutely. He was instrumental. He worked closely with ACORN. He was an executive vice president at SEIU, which has very close ties to ACORN and pretty well always had. And he worked with the Working Families Party of New York, which was a party created by ACORN, a minor party in New York State that's also active in some other states like Connecticut and out in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought there.
Gaspard now he's executive director of the Democratic National Committee, and as such, he oversees the Saul Alinsky-inspired pressure group called Organizing for America that is all about bringing Alinsky's tactics to the campaign trail to help get President Obama reelected next year.
Yeah, just in time for 2012. Isn't that convenient?
Absolutely.
Bottom line, though, aren't there lawsuits? And we've spoken here before with the Attorney General from Louisiana. He had a case against ACORN and so forth. Don't these lawsuits and legal actions prevent them from reorganizing?
In some cases, like, for example, in Ohio, the Buckeye Institute successfully sued ACORN and got it to agree not to re-enter Ohio. But that's going to be hard to enforce. If people come by with a new name, what's going to stop them from registering in Ohio? So it's more of a moral victory over ACORN than a real substantial or substantive legal victory.
Maybe that's why we had a tough time booking these attorney generals, by the way. We tried to do that today. Matthew, we got to leave it at that. Great to see you. We're glad you're on the case. Matthew Vadum, terrific stuff. And what do you guys think? ACORN will rise again. You believe it will? If you do, or maybe it already has, it's a buy. If you don't, it's a sell. If you're not sure, it's a hold. Text 369-249. Coming up on deck. And ACORN, will it rise again? If you think it will, not to say you like it or don't like it, but if you think it's going to rise again, it's a buy. If you don't, it's a sell. If you're not sure, it's a hold. Text 369-249. Coming up next, by the way, Eric Bowling with a big exclusive. Eric, what's coming up?